Grow dank, not bush. Yeah, man. Hey, today's topic is going to be about black ash. Yeah? While you're growing that weed, you're growing that ganja, you're growing that dank, yeah? It's looking fire, smelling fire. Yeah, then you harvest it and it's burning black ash. Yeah? Sometimes it's not all the way black, but it's got that dark color on it. And it takes away from the flavor, it takes away from how it burns and everything, yeah? So that's gonna be the topic of discussion today. Yeah? Black ash. Why your weed keeps burning black ash. And this is in my opinion, yeah, the different things that I've gone through over many, many years, over millions of harvests. Yeah? And I've had black ash many times. Yeah, and I can give you the reasons why I think we get black ash. Yeah, so the first one is overuse of nutrients. Yeah, we're giving our plants way too much nutrients than they need. Yeah, into the medium. Yeah, especially when you're growing in soil. Yeah, not so much that problem. You don't get so much of that problem when you're in hydro. You see, it's a lot more easier to get white ash in hydro than it is in soil. I'll say that first of all. That's my encounter anyway. Obviously, growing has a lot of different variables. We all know this. Growing has loads of different variables. People will experience different things, but I've grown hydro. When I first started growing, I was growing hydro. We were growing hydro side by side soil plants. Yeah, we had some hydro trays. That's what we was doing. And I found it a lot more easier to get cleaner weed from the hydro than I did from the soil. But anyway, we're soil growers, yeah? Not taking nothing away from hydroponics, but we're soil growers. So, soil, overuse of nutrients, putting too much nutrients in there, and then what do? We have to do this term called flushing. Now, flushing is something that I just, over the years, when I first started growing, because that's what I thought we had to do, that's what I was doing. But the more I grew, the more crops I've done, the more experience I got, I changed that, yeah? I changed that to more of something where I look and aim to feed the plant enough. Yeah? My aim is to feed the plant enough so that it can use up the resources that it has within the medium, within the soil, and then I refeed it. So you really do have to learn a lot about your plant. You have to learn a lot about how cannabis actually uptakes nutrients in soil, how it actually breaks it down in the soil, how it actually works. That's the first thing. Now the flushing thing, also people flush their plants. I'm gonna do a separate video about flushing. I'll do a video about flushing, possibly. Yeah, I'll possibly do a video about flushing. But when you're actually flushing, you take, as well as taking out the nutrients that you don't want, the excess, you're taking out the nutrients that the plant maybe does need still to sort of ripen and finish off, you know. So I do more of a leaching. It's a way of allowing your plant to eat the nutrients out of the medium, you know, before you give it more. And then over the years of working this method out to actually get your plant to eat the nutrients before you harvest, yeah, that's a whole nother sort of method that I had to that I gained over trial and error, you know, over constant trial and error and working out the differences that I encountered, you know, with different variations of cultivars and the different type of feedings, and you know, and I've got to a place where I can feed my plants throughout, and then I know when to stop feeding them, so they're actually clean at the point of chopping, at the point of harvest, at the point of, you know, when they're dry and we're ready to smoke, we can get that clean white ash, yeah? Also, you want to really chop your plants as well. Also, chopping your plants, you don't want to you want to chop your plants after a dry, after a dark period. Sorry, after a dark period. Yeah, you don't want to you don't want your plants. You don't want the light to come back on, and you're going in 3-4 hours, and then you're coming in and harvesting. You don't want to really do that, because that allows the sugars to come back up into the plant. That can be a possibility for getting black ash at harvesting. Yeah. So you want to make sure you chop your plants as close to the dark period as possible. Okay. Also, drying your plants properly. If you dry your plants too fast, yeah, not allowing the gases and the chlorophyll and certain things to break down, yeah, before you actually present your cannabis as dry to the world, you know. Inconsistent drying, definitely, with that trapped chlorophyll, can cause black ash as well. These are all the different things that I have gone through, in my opinion. Yeah, so right, overuse of nutrients. First of all, you don't want to be just overusing nutrients, so you have to flush. Yeah, that doesn't even make sense. Yeah, if you think about it, yeah, it means you're feeding your plants actually too much. You're giving them too much, more than they need anyway. Yeah, so that's the first thing. Remember that leaching your plants, allowing the 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 nutrients within the soil to deplete naturally, depending on the cultivar, or depending on the time that you would need, and depending on how the cultivar also takes up nutrients. Yeah, we want to remember that. Remember, chopping your plants too close after a dark period, and leaving it too long when the lights are on, and chopping actually a lot of hours into the light cycle is not good. Okay, and then finally the drying. Okay, making sure that you're drying your plants properly. Yeah. Now these factors are why, in my opinion, you get black ash. Yeah. And to be honest, when I minimize all these different factors, I always get white ash every time. So that's how I come to that. That's how I have come to that conclusion. And it's not once or twice. That's over 10 years. Yeah, over 10 years. Yeah, actually analyzing how to get your cannabis clean. Yeah, and analyzing my end results, and getting black ash continuously, and having to change what I'm doing. Yeah, so grow dank, not bush.